Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Happy Monday. Welcome to December. It's
Yeah, it's
December
so weird.
already. I
Yeah,
know.
it's so odd.
I say this every holiday season, but this year just flew past.
Yeah, I know. I
Crazy.
wanted to rush like from Halloween to Christmas, and then I was like, wait, it's November? No, it's not November anymore.
Yeah,
We're done.
I know. And then I was all confused. At first I thought, oh, this past weekend is the start of Hanukkah. I'm like, no, I'm a week off. I'm a
It's
week
this week,
off. Yes.
Thursday.
So
Yes.
I have a few more days.
Yes.
Hello everyone out there. We'll check in with our viewers in the chat, and right off the bat, looks like Vince Lamb was in early to wish everyone a happy International Cheetah Day and Wildlife Conservation Day. Yes, those are two important days for Animal Kingdom, which I just had a really great visit to the other day.
Ooh. Did you
Um,
try the pancake thing yet?
the pancake thing,
Breakfast
no.
sandwich where it's like
Oh
stuffed.
no, I was there long past breakfast.
Yeah. See, I don't go early enough, so
I
we'll see.
did try the the vegan burnt ends that they've added
Ooh, I did hear
to
about that.
Flame Tree, and as a vegan choice, I would rather go with the vegan options at Satuli Canteen.
Mm,
But it was a nice change of pace. Is that impossible meat pressed into little cubes, and it kind of had a beef jerky taste. I wouldn't
interesting.
necessarily call burnt end brisket, but it was good to try. The fries were
Those
good. The fries were good.
impossible things are really like manipulative sometimes. There was like a short rib at I think Garden Festival of the Arts or one of them,
Oh
and my
yeah, I
mom
actually
got it,
liked that one.
and
I
she
really
thought it
liked
was real short rib.
the Korean short rib that they do at the Flower and Garden
Flower and
Festival.
Garden, yeah.
The seasoning is spot on. I really like that the texture of Impossible meat is not bad. It's they got to get the seasoning right. Sometimes
Right.
it's just like salty and kind of tastes like a Slim Jim.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Vince,
not mad about
while we're talking about Vince, was also wondering if we were going to mention the streaker in "It's a Small World" in Disneyland. I don't know if
that. I think we
Attractions
did last week.
Magazine. We did mention it
Yeah.
last week, I think, in the pre-show. I don't know if we talked about it in the main show.
He doesn't deserve any more attention.
Honestly, yeah, like, is it news that people be crazy right about now? Like,
Right.
nuttiness. Anyway, we'll move on to say hi to in Derico's corner, Blossom and Michelangelo, and Brian Sager checking in, asking if we do the end of the year Spotify playlist. He's saying he's not a Swiftie, but fascinated with how much she is rolling in the bank for her film and royalties, and also reminding us that tomorrow is Walt's birthday.
Yes.
I personally do not use Spotify. I do most things through Amazon Music, I guess, or I listen to Sirius XM. I'm not a Spotify person, and I can't say that I listened to much Taylor Swift this year, but I wish her well. I wish
She's
her
doing
well.
very well.
Yes. Um. Okay, well, that about wraps up the comments. So why don't we get this thing started and jump right into this show in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 220 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we're here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Carly, how have you been this past week?
I have been great. I am getting ready for a trip to two of my favorite theme park food festivals, Festival of the Holidays at Epcot, and also Universal Holidays, which I love their food. Not really a festival, but it's a festival in my mind. So I've been just kind of planning what I'm going to eat. And, some new things, some old things I'm happy to see returning. So I am hyped. I'll be going there this week.
That's awesome. I checked out the festival last week, and it's a great time. I know we can argue about whether that one's better or the arts festival is better, but
They're tied for me. Those
yeah.
are my top two. I mean, I say it's my favorite, but they're both my favorite. They're perfect.
I got a chance to stop by Magic Kingdom for the opening day of something that we're going to talk about in just a minute. But I also swung by Animal Kingdom and spent some quality time with the Merry Menagerie.
Well,
They've been around a couple years now. They're these wonderful puppets, these kind of folk art puppets of animals, polar bears, penguins, an Arctic fox, and the puppeteers do such a great job bringing them to life. They come out around the Tree of Life area, and it is not one of those hyped Disney World Christmas things that people talk about, but it's one of those quiet, magical moments that I really love.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I went over a few weeks ago, like literally specifically to see them because it's magical, it's whimsical, it fits perfectly
Mhm.
in with that park.
And I got to tell you, this was a great week to be in the parks. Did not buy any Genie Plus or Lightning Lane. I waited uh, 38 minutes for Avatar Flight of Passage at the middle of the day. I think, the posted wait time was like under an hour, and I waited way less than that. Walked on to pretty much everything else. Highly recommend it. We got a few more days of this, and then the Christmas crowds will arrive.
Yes, it is just so like, for lack of a better word, like bipolar this time of year because some days are dead, some days are busy, and then the weather too. Some days, I mean, it's
Yeah.
been
Oh
cold,
my
and now
God.
this weekend it's gonna heat
We
up.
went
So,
we went from an overnight low of 50 of having to switch on our heater, and the smell of burning dust is always
oh,
fun. That's a very
first
Florida
time.
winter smell. And then went straight to high of 80 just a couple days later. Nutty.
It makes no sense. So if you're flying to Florida anytime this month, just check because it
Yeah.
might not be Spirit Jersey weather, even though you really badly want it to be. I mean, I'm trying
Yeah.
to manifest that for myself. I have so many that just sit and rot in my closet.
Yeah, there are not a lot of fun Christmas sweaters
Yes.
on sale at Disney World this year, and not a lot of opportunities to wear them right now.
No, not practical.
All right, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the news in the queue. And for our first piece of news in the queue, as I hinted at earlier, the Hatbox Ghost emerged this week at Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom's Haunted Mansion. You might remember him from Disneyland, where he was added several years ago after many, many decades of just being an urban legend, a Disney rumor. And now they've added him to Magic Kingdom, and I have some thoughts and feelings after going and seeing him on opening day.
Did you miss the chair?
Well, apparently I can be reunited with the chair if I spend a lot of money on a cruise on the Disney Treasure, right?
And
Didn't we
do we
see
know if that's like a
I don't.
replica?
I did. I'm guessing that if people are going to be able to sit on that chair when it's on the
It's a
cruise, then it
replica,
is a
yeah.
replica, and that the original is.
Straight
But
to the archives.
well, okay, let's explain for those who have maybe not been to Disneyland or not gone to our YouTube channel, where we have a fantastic low light video by Magic City Mayhem that is actually looks way brighter than it does in
It
person.
looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. The photos we have here are kind of a better representation of the lighting as it looks in reality. But this low light is so good that you can almost tell how the trick is done. And I got to tell you, this is one that I've been stopped in front of this guy at Disneyland for a minute or so at a time, and still you can't really tell. It's such a good illusion. It is an animatronic figure, if you haven't seen it, of a ghost with a top hat, and he's holding an empty hat box in one hand, and his face, his head vanishes and reappears inside the box, and then goes back again. And this was a famous illusion that Yale Gracie tried to get to work properly for the opening of the Haunted Mansion back in 1969, and couldn't quite get it to work right. So it was there for a few days, a few people saw it, and then disappeared forever until they brought it back a while ago. So you've seen this one in Disneyland. You haven't seen it in person in Disney World.
I will be on Saturday. So
You
but
will
I
be on
will
Saturday.
see the
So
film.
I don't necessarily want to color your opinion,
I
but
want you to color my opinion.
I love anytime we have a new addition to the Walt Disney World mansion. I think in some ways it's not the original, but it's even a little better than the Disneyland version, because it's got a little extended ride time. It's got some extra details. So I was really excited that they'd finally bring the Hatbox Ghost. I think the placement of it
Is weird.
is weird. We've always said that there's 999 happy haunts in the Haunted Mansion, and they've said, well, this guy's an unhappy haunt. Therefore, he can be in a spot in the Haunted Mansion where traditionally there have been no visible ghosts up until
Because
now.
we're waiting for them to
The
materialize.
the Haunted Mansion is a great example, along with Pirates of the Caribbean, of early Disney theme park storytelling, where rides had story but not plot. Plot kind of came in the Michael Eisner era. Story has acts to it. It has, a theme to the first third, and then a different mood and theme to the middle section, and then a finale. And one of the key elements that a lot of people probably don't consciously notice, but they subconsciously notice it, is that you don't see the ghosts in the Haunted Mansion until after Madame Leota calls them forward. Until then, they're just invisible manifestations. They're shadows. By
I
putting
mean,
this
if they
full
use that,
animatronic,
yes, they use the language, the materialize in like merchandise. So it's
exactly,
a very well-known
yes.
thing. I don't know. I mean, it seems very
It isn't necessarily. I mean, it is pretty spelled out. Maybe not enough for modern audiences, but first of all, putting him there, where he is, which is right after the endless hallway, which is that mirror gag with the floating
so
candelabra.
this is all like what I call the anticipation part of the attraction because you're
Exactly.
hearing the noises, the
You're
pounding. Yeah.
building up the atmosphere before we hit Madame Leota, and then we get into the ballroom and the attic. um you know in Disneyland, he's at the end of the attic. He's at the end of the middle section of the ride, just before we get into the graveyard finale, and he's kind of a great punctuation mark, because he's the most advanced special effect in the ride. And so when you put him at the very beginning of the ride, and then you've got all this kind of 1970s era stuff, which is still great in its own way. And then we've got the bride at the end, kind of the end of the attic now. She's also digital, but her digital is kind of looking a little dated compared to the Hatbox Ghost.
Mhm.
Eh, it's not, aesthetically, it's not as good a flow, I don't think.
It feels oddly placed.
Yeah. We'll get used to it. We get used to every
Right.
every
But
change.
here's the thing, I mean, we're very lucky we get to go to both Walt Disney World and Disneyland every year, multiple times.
Mhm.
I know that's not the case for everyone. I
Sure.
do prefer things to be exclusive in certain parks.
Yeah.
I don't want to have everything. I don't think there should be everything everywhere. That's what makes it special. That's why it's like I can't wait to go back to Disneyland Paris because I'm going to go in Phantom Manor. I like
Absolutely.
these exclusive to
Yeah.
park experiences, and yeah, I just don't think it was necessary.
And that is our privilege as Disney super fans who do a lot of professional traveling, as opposed to most people who it's a once in a lifetime or a once in a decade
Mhm.
trip, and they want to see everything that they can see. So I can see both sides of the coin. Disneyland's still, they're going through a refurbishment of the exterior, and they're getting a new gift shop and stuff. So I think Disneyland will, and heck, they've got Haunted Mansion Holiday. So we're not getting that anytime soon in Florida. So there's still
They
enough
better not.
differences
Yeah.
to make it worth doing both.
Well,
All
I'm
right.
excited to see it for myself. I will have your same opinion, I'm sure.
Well, we can discuss it after you make your trip, but in the meantime, it's open now. Go check it out for yourself, and you let us know what you think. Um, Next up, we have some more information about the new Universal theme park coming to Texas, and it's going to be called Universal Kids Resort, which is putting it right up front that this is not a thrill park. This is not Velocicoaster. This is where you're going to find Universal's kid-friendly brands in a resort designed especially for families with little kids.
I love
So
it.
not made for either of us. This
But
is
we're
going to
still
be
gonna go. So
this is going to be the Peppa Pig or Legoland of
Legoland.
Universal's inventory. But I got to tell you, this latest concept art that they have released makes it look significantly more impressive, I think, than the original art. It's a little more vague.
Right.
The original art I felt like had more detail that I could zoom in and guess what everything was.
They're not
This,
giving much away, is
yeah,
what we know.
a lot of clouds around the perimeter, but just kind of trying to put it side by side and comparing the scale. I feel like they've maybe enlarged some things or spread things out, so it looks a little larger to me, or at least it feels that way.
Right. I
And
love the entrance with the
yes,
hotel. Like that's my favorite part that we've taken
hmm
from this new artwork.
yep. So yeah, we've got a hotel entrance leading. It's not really a hub design. There's a water feature in the center, which seems to be kind of a winding river that a
It looks
ride
kind of
goes
like
through.
Islands of Adventure plus a river.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the body of
If
water in the
if if
center.
if the lagoon at Islands Adventure kind of had a big peninsula in the middle of it,
Right.
um, and as we go kind of clockwise around the park, like I said, it's not a lot of detail, a lot of fuzziness, but I think Alicia Stella on Twitter or X put out some images labeled with ideas of what some of these things could be. So I think we're looking at uh, Trolls area. I think we're looking at a Jurassic Park or Cretaceous camp
Mhm.
area. Um, I'm guessing Minions and something themed to SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
Uh,
Shrek, I
I'm
believe.
also thinking Shrek and possibly some Kung Fu Panda as well.
Yes. If you zoom in on the artwork, I mean, obviously this could all
Yeah.
change, but
Oh
like with
yeah.
the Jurassic Park one, you see those kind of like thatched roof design.
hmm
You
hmm
see it Islands of Adventure. So that's kind of these are like educated guesses based on what
Yeah.
we're seeing.
Yeah. They did announce that the hotel is going to have 300 rooms. So this is not, the thousands and thousands of rooms like we have at Universal Orlando Resort. And I think the capacity of the park is going to reflect that. Now, you're not going to see big e-tickets that move 2,000 people an hour. These are going to be a lot of flat rides and meet and greets and kind of small scale attractions.
Hey, but I love it. I'm all for regional parks. These micro parks are
hmm
great. I mean, it's such a significantly less of an investment and you're
Yep.
bringing it to a new market. This is going to be for drivable audiences.
hmm
Some
And
fly-in, but it's going to be a drivable
and
regional.
that area of Texas is growing real fast demographically. It's a great place to put it. Um, the construction on this is already underway. They broke ground in November. Obviously, no opening date set yet, but we're going to be keeping a close eye on both this project and the Horror Unleashed project at Area 15 in
Can't
Las
wait.
Vegas.
Yes.
Yep. All right. In other Universal news, Universal Beijing Winter Holiday Celebration has returned from November 30th through January 7th. And they've got some immersive new experiences, including a limited time This Time of Year Is show, which maybe that is in Chinese, more grammatical.
Yeah, I
Uh,
kind of did a triple read when I was looking this
yeah.
over. I think that's what it was.
So this year, the headliner is the spectacular Santa's Village Market. They've got I'm sorry, a holiday makeover going on around the Hollywood Amphitheater area,
Which
which
looks
I
trippy because it looks just like
yeah,
Orlando's.
except it doesn't have Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket
Yeah.
over the top of it. But yeah, they've got their own little Hollywood Bowl amphitheater there, and they've got a big stage show featuring the Minions and Alex and Shrek from DreamWorks Animation. Mr. and Mrs. Klaus, all joining together to transport the audience to the North Pole.
Yes, and I love that they do this kind of like market style a la like Europe. Like I don't know, it sounds kind of like a Christmas market.
Yeah.
If you look at the pictures, it has that very North Pole feel. There's going to be Santa meet and greets, an elf toy shop, a candy shop, a butterbeer candy cart. So that will probably be very popular. And then, of
Yes.
course, it wouldn't be a celebration without all of the food and beverage. And there's some really cool interesting foods over there that I cannot pronounce. One is like a venison meatball jinbing wrap, which I
Yes.
would try it. I don't know what that is, but
We don't get a lot of venison in American theme parks, so
No.
that would definitely be one to try. And I love that they have this toffee flavored apple cheesecake
Yes.
that's shaped like an apple. That's
It
kind of
looks
awesome.
so good. Yeah, and it sounds really good too.
On Hollywood Boulevard, you are going to find their giant tree, which does a light and sound show. But you're also going to find magical snowfall or snopefall
Nope.
every 30 minutes. So that will be fun. And you're also going to find the Universal Characters Christmas Tree Meet and Greet, where they rotate through DreamWorks characters like Shrek, Fiona, Puss in Boots, and Kitty Softpaws, others all dressed up in special holiday attire.
Ooh, I'm sure there's good people watching because I know they go hard over there with bounding. So I'm sure there's some bounding with holiday infusion in there, which I'd love to see.
More food, winter-themed holiday menus at restaurants throughout the resort, including at the Universal Studios Grand Hotel. They've got a special holiday breakfast with the Minions. And then over, they've also got, they're debuting a new Chilly Willy winter-themed merchandise series, if anyone remembers Chilly Willy.
Yeah, it's so cute.
He's got his cold weather scarf on, and so you can get penguin backpacks and bag pendants, super cute, along with new Wizarding World merchandise, Transformers scarves, Hogwarts house cardigans, you name it.
I mean, it wouldn't be the holidays with
Yeah.
all the merch.
Exactly.
No
exactly.
Earl over there, but that's okay.
No, they haven't imported Earl yet, but they eat venison, so maybe he would end up on the menu too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Grilled Earl.
Someday I'll tell you about my college roommate who used to bring home squirrel stew.
Oh, I'm not ready for that.
Finally, last but not least, if you head out into City Walk at Universal Beijing, they've got holiday lights and an ice skating rink, along with special holiday options at the restaurants, including their own berry milkshake at Toothsome and roast turkey pizza at their version of Red Oven.
That sounds excellent.
That sounds kind of yum. Yeah, I can see that.
Really good.
All right, like we said, that all kicked off on November 30th and runs through the week after New Year.
Very fun.
All right.
I went through like a rabbit hole the other day when I wasn't feeling so good, and I was watching YouTube videos of the different Universals, like Beijing, Japan, Singapore. It is such a fever dream because some of them you're watching this video span, it looks just like Orlando.
It's trippy, yeah.
Trippy.
Yeah, I've been going down the rabbit hole of watching every first the Jurassic World Beijing videos, everyone I could, but then this last week the Zootopia videos, because they started putting out POVs of the Zootopia ride over at Shanghai Disneyland, and that looks pretty impressive. I'd like to see that over here. Okay. Finally, we're going to wrap it up at Kennedy Space Center, which is hosting an all-new event called Kennedy Under the Stars. Disney has all their after-hour events, and now the Space Center is getting in on it with an exclusive after-hours event on February 2nd. It's going to take place from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m., and you can explore the spaceport, the Shuttle Atlantis, the launch experience, and more. You're not going to take the bus ride at night or go to the Saturn Center, but there's going to be glow-in-the-dark DJ techno party, miniature golf, bars and lounges.
And you can meet astronauts.
And yes, you hit the headline, which is that you get to
Yes.
party with veteran NASA astronauts
So
Chris
cool.
Ferguson and Nicole Scott. So that's
No,
a
I
pretty
love that.
special opportunity. So they're gonna open some restaurants and retail stores for this. The food and the drinks doesn't look like they're included, but they'll be available for purchase. And if you're an annual pass holder, you'll get a 30% discount on some items. And you're encouraged to wear spaced themed costumes as long as you don't conceal your face with a mask or
Love it.
bring any weapons.
Oh, that does sound really cool. I haven't been since I was a kid, embarrassingly. So this would be something I definitely.
Well, it has changed a lot since you were a kid. There's a lot of amazing stuff that they've added over the years. The Shuttle Atlantis display alone is worth the price of admission, and they've added new things like the Gateway Complex that I have not seen yet. Tickets for this cost $65 plus tax. If you're an annual pass holder, you'll save $10, and parking is free, so that's good. And you can purchase tickets at KennedySpaceCenter.com.
Very fun.
All right. So that is going to wrap up our news in the queue. But before we get into this week's main attraction, it's time to hear a word from our sponsors.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and Mousefan Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
And for this week's main attraction, we're heading to Epcot, where Walt the Dreamer statue and the gardens surrounding him at the center of the park, which have been closed off for way too long, are finally officially revealed on December 5th, tomorrow from when we are recording this on the 4th. And I, for one, am excited to be able to stroll right down the center of Epcot once again.
Yes, less walls.
Yes.
There's still walls, but there's less.
Still going to be walls.
So that's the important part.
The sub headline here is no word yet on Communicore Hall. We're hoping this entire thing would be wrapped up before the end of the year. This looks like the Communicore Hall, where they basically tore down the original Communicore and rebuilt the same thing except more square, more or less.
Very sad. That was my favorite bathroom at Epcot. So
it was also a great Starbucks.
Yes.
And they just built that beautiful Starbucks a few years earlier.
So I'm still salty on that.
Yeah, I hear you on that. But we will soon have a new World Celebration Garden, otherwise known as the new Central Plaza, to walk through. And you will be able to, at least for now, until they put a rope blocking him off, be able to sit with Walt the Dreamer, which is this new life-size statue of Walt sitting kind of man-spreading on a bench, looking off.
Clean style.
I mean, if you sat like that on the subway, people would be annoyed. But he's Walt and it's his park. So I guess
he can do as he pleases.
Yes. So he's looking off, thinking, I wanted a real working, living community, and you built me a place where adults go to get drunk. But he's dreaming about what the experimental prototype community of tomorrow could have been. Sits, according to the caption provided by the Disney Parks blog, it says that Walt sits with a sense of fulfillment, enjoying the beauty of his realized dream. That might be some psychological projection on behalf of the Imagineers, but we'll take them at their word because they know Walt better than we do, I guess.
What is he facing? This is what I can't.
I want to know what his perspective is, because we see the picture, but we haven't seen what exactly he is staring at. He might be staring at the back of a DVC kiosk.
Well, then he definitely realizes, dreams.
He is most likely facing towards a trash can that someone is eating off of. That's my most likely guess.
But I
Because
will
what
say
he
the
is not
statue is
facing
really
toward.
nice. I
Yes,
saw
it
it
is. No, it's a lovely
2023
sculpt.
last year.
hmm
Yes.
Yes, this is the one that was on display at D23, so you get up close. And on December 5th, you'll also be able to get up close, and we will see, like I said, how long that lasts until the first child injures themselves trying to climb on top of Walt's head, or I don't know, someone breaks off one of his arms.
Ugh.
We'll see.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Um, yes, the one thing that he is definitely not facing towards is a big fountain that does, musical displays like we used to have, because the fountain did not return, but there should be some very nice greenery to look at. The other thing that people are going to be able to see starting tomorrow, December 5th, is Luminous.
Another.
Yes, Epcot Forever did not last forever, but Luminous, the Symphony of Us, will debut on December 5th at 9:30 p.m. and will hopefully last a little longer. This is a new Fountain Lagoon show with music composed by Pinar Torbrack, who also wrote Epcot's instrumental anthem that debuted several years ago. And the show Epcot Forever, if you really love that one, you've got a few hours left as we're recording this to get down to Epcot and see the last show ever.
Yes.
Until
For
it's
now, until it
for
returns.
now,
Yeah.
until it comes back again.
don't know.
9:30 on December 4th. That will be its final finale. It's had one other finale. Hopefully, this will be the last one.
It's a lot
All
to
right.
keep up with the Epcot nighttime spectaculars.
Yes, but at least this one will not leave a huge honking barge in the middle of the lagoon all day long.
Yep.
Instead, everyone's going to have to get used to the bridge going up again during the day.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I got caught in that crowd last time I was in Epcot, and that was actually a little when everyone just kind of stops short because the bridge is up, and then people behind you just keep pushing forward.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's not the most fun.
The human stampede. Yeah. A little scary.
All right. So looking forward to seeing Dreamer's Point, to seeing Luminous, and the World Celebration Gardens all coming to life very soon. And as we said, the new Communicore Hall, which will become the festival center for future festivals, as well as a permanent meet and greet location for Mickey and Friends. Oh, well, hopefully that might be ready in time for the next festival, maybe for the Festival of the Arts. We'll see that, but we do not have a date. So if you want to look back at what Dreamer's Point and World Celebration Gardens replaced, like the Fountain of Nations, and the old Communicore, head on to our blog for a look at those, as well as other Walt statues at parks around the world.
Very fun.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap up our news for this week. Before we go, let us take a look at some comments that we've received.
Yeah.
Buddy R just wanted to check in and say cool, and we think you're cool too, buddy. Thank you. And it wouldn't be an episode of the Attractions Podcast without hearing from Michael Bingham. Sorry you were late. I'm glad you were excited about the Hatbox Ghost, Michael. Yes, if you haven't been to the Magic Kingdom in a while, it's time to go and check that out, and then stop by Epcot and get a selfie with Walt while you can.
Yes, you must.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap things up for this week. Before we go, one more thank you to our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Please, everyone, head on over to Spotify, if that's where you listen to us, or Apple Podcasts, or wherever else. Give us a rating and a review. And please be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com. Search Attractions Magazine on all your social media platforms. And Carly, where can folks find you online?
Yes, I am on Instagram at Adventures by Carly, and on X, Twitter at Carly Caramana.
I'm on all the socials at Skabursky, and you can find my books at theunofficialguides.com. Pick up those 2024 editions now. All right.
Woo!
Well, until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most of all, have fun.
Yes.
And we will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.